We here at TechShout have been picking apart various members of the Asus ZenFone 3 family for quite a while now, and we've come up with mixed results. We've now got our hands on what's supposed to be the pinnacle of the series, the Asus ZenFone 3 Deluxe. With a name like that, you'd expect a luxurious phone with top of the line specs. And you wouldn't be completely wrong to assume that, but there are a few things that stop this handset from being the flagship killer that it tries to be. The model we'll be taking a look at today comes with 64 gigs of storage and a Snapdragon 820 processor, and it costs Rs 50,000. But there is another model which comes with 256 gigs of storage and a Snapdragon 821 processor, and it costs a whopping 63,000 rupees. Expectations are naturally high with such lofty price tags, and we're gonna suss out whether or not the phone lives up to them. I'm Sohil Nikam, you're watching the TechShout channel on YouTube, and this is a review of the Asus ZenFone 3 Deluxe. Asus is very proud of the fact that the ZenFone 3 Deluxe doesn't have visible antenna lines on its back. It has instead placed them in barely noticeable white squares at the top and the bottom. While impressive, this will probably only please you if you're completely against having antenna lines running along the back of your device. The ZenFone 3 Deluxe feels pleasantly smooth and comfortable to hold thanks to its slightly curved back and its 170 gram weight. Thin bezels flank the display, but the black border all around ruins the aesthetic somewhat. The chamfered edges and the company's distinctive concentric circle pattern make sure that the smartphone catches the light no matter which angle it's viewed from. The ZenFone 3 Deluxe features a hybrid SIM card slot on the left that lets you place one micro SIM and one nano SIM or a micro SD card. It's too bad that the three cannot exist side by side, but very few will be complaining given the fact that there are 64GB and 256GB storage options available. You'll find the headphone jack at the top and a USB Type-C port and speakers at the bottom. The fingerprint scanner rests on the back surface along with the camera, the flash and the laser autofocus module. One would expect the ZenFone 3 Deluxe to carry a Quad HD display given the price segment it belongs to. Still, the 5.7-inch 1080p screen Asus has given to it doesn't offer anything to complain about. As can be expected from an AMOLED panel, it offers deep blacks and vivid colors. Viewing angles are solid and the phone can get pretty bright. As for sound, the ZenFone 3 Deluxe's bottom-firing speaker system gets decently loud for a single speaker. However, we did notice slight distortion in the sound at higher volumes. While viewing videos in landscape mode, you'll have to be careful not to place your hand on the speaker since it's a bottom-firing speaker after all. The bundled Zen-Ear S earphones support high-res audio and provide crisp sound. They come with an inline mic and a button to pick calls, but no volume controls strangely. Asus began rolling out Android Nougat for the ZenFone 3 Deluxe earlier this month, but our unit still hasn't got it yet. So it's still stuck on Android Marshmallow with the usual Zen UI features and bloatware. With the upcoming update, the company has promised to cut down on unnecessary apps like ShareLink, Puffin Browser and PC Suite. Some of these will live on in settings, but thankfully won't be cluttering up the main menu anymore. The UI can be very annoying at times, giving you pointless notifications for stuff like when the headphones are connected, when a new app is installed, and so on. I even found instances wherein instructions in the settings menu were written in broken English. For example, it asked for permission to activate glove mode by stating, "This mode will increase touch sensitivity when you wearing gloves." Another instance saw it asking, "Allow Zen UI launcher to allows the app to access information about your email." Anyway, Zen UI offers some nifty shortcuts to get things done, like the Zen Motion Touch Gesture tool, which lets you launch apps by merely drawing letters on the screen. The ability to double tap to wake is also present. There's even an always on option if you want to look at the time and date when the phone is on standby. This does affect battery life, but not much since it's an AMOLED screen. The ZenFone 3 Deluxe's photography setup is a bit of a mixed bag. The 23 megapixel rear camera excels in natural sunlight, capturing sharp and color accurate photos. There's a small delay when shooting images one after the other, resulting in situations where you click the shutter button but the snapper lags behind by about a second. Moreover, optical image stabilization is not this camera's strong suit, since even a little shake will derail a snap. I also noticed inconsistencies in the color rendering of some images. Here's one such instance wherein half the sky is shining blue and the other half is drenched in white. Moving on, we will say that Asus Tri-Tech autofocus technology worked as advertised, managing to freeze both moving vehicles on the road and squirrels moving about. Things are less than rosy in low light and nighttime conditions. There's a significant increase in grain and a drop in sharpness in addition to the previously mentioned slowness. As for video, 4K footage comes out looking good and is well colored as well as sharp. Taking up the task of shooting your selfies is an 8 megapixel camera which opens up in beautification mode by default. While it certainly won't win any prizes for best front facing camera ever, this snapper gets the job done like a champ. But like the rear camera, images in good lighting conditions are definitely way better than images in low light. With a Snapdragon 820 processor and 6GB of RAM at its heart, the ZenFone 3 Deluxe was able to tackle any multitasking activities we threw at it with ease. Heavy-duty games and videos played smoothly with no glitches or hiccups. Coming to the fingerprint scanner, one minor quibble is that its narrow design meant that I sometimes had to reposition my finger a few times till I found the right spot to finally unlock the handset. The 3000 mAh battery performed well and it easily lasted for an entire day with moderate use. But you will indeed need to charge it if you want to go worry-free the next day. Fast charging proves to be a useful weapon in such situations, with your phone going from 0 to 100% in roughly 2 hours. At Rs 50,000, the ZenFone 3 Deluxe is certainly a very costly proposition, especially when compared against the likes of the Samsung Galaxy S7, which is going for around 43,000 right now. And then there's also the OnePlus 3T, which goes for just Rs 30,000. It's difficult to recommend the ZenFone 3 Deluxe in view of that, unless of course you're a big fan of not having antenna lines on the back surface. We're going with 3.5 out of 5 stars.